I won it. I never came back to the United States with it. We went overseas. We did the Italy loop first. So we were on the road for like 2 weeks. I beat Juventud on a house show, and I lost it at the following TV. What they did was they showed, the house show, clip of the house show, what happened overseas. This never happens on a house show where the belt changes hands.
You got another run down the line with WWE, WWF, whatever they were called, as a referee. And when I saw that, I was just like, what? How did that come about? Because you're still wrestling to this day, which is phenomenal. And you're, like I said, you're in great shape. The NXT match had me rolling. Like, it was so fun to see you and Tony back in the ring and doing your deal. But what made them want to use you like as a ref instead of like an actual wrestler?
Because it was a last minute thing. It was the December 26th show, and they were at Madison Square Garden. There was a huge blizzard. So this is like 2011, maybe 2012. I was doing security. I was out of wrestling for a little bit, doing independence, but independence was slow. So I had a little gig going on the side. And so none of the referees showed up. Half the crew showed up. So they were shorthanded. So I think it was Dreamer, at the time. I guess Carano reached out to him, and Dreamer, I think, thought of me or whatever. Dreamer called me and said, "Can you go down to the Garden? They need a referee." I said, "The blizzard out there. That's why they didn't make him in. I live in Rockland County. I'm a little bit of a ways from there." But he's like, it's up to you. It wasn't that bad yet, but I ended up getting snowed in. But that's besides the point. So anyway, I got in my car and I went to Madison Square Garden. And actually, Vince McMahon was there that night. And I think Johnny was there. Dean was the agent. And I walked in there, and then, there was no referees. So, Dean asked me if, would you mind refereeing? And I think they threw a shirt on somebody, but I think I did most of the matches. I never really refereed before, but I was out there. Plus, it was the Garden, so I went out there. Then when I did the show and everything, I came back. Vince McMahon was there, and he asked what I was doing and how I am and all this stuff. And I told him. And then by the time I got back, everybody was gone. Like I said, okay, I guess I don't get paid for this. I guess I'm done. I guess I'm leaving. Nobody's around. I was just like, okay. So I get in my car and I go home. And then a week later, I was at work. I was in the city, and Johnny called me up and he was like, "Hey, how'd you do? How'd you like it? We appreciated that. How was the fan reaction?" He goes, "Was anybody heckling you?" And there was not the whole Madison Square Garden, but you could hear people saying, "That's Nunzio, that's little Guido," because it's the Garden. Not that the whole place was chanting my name. No, not at all. And I told John that, but people knew that I wrestled for them for many years. I said, but it wasn't overwhelming, John. I said it wasn't like anything bad. He's like, "Oh, why don't you try a trial run? What are you doing now?" And I told him because I was working.
Yeah.
And doing well. He goes, "Well, when can you get off?" He goes, "I'll send my team to call you, and you make arrangements, come and go on the road with us for 3 months as a referee.
Huh.
See how you like it, see if you adjust to it, see if you want to do it, and then and that was it. So I went for the tryout, and then I did 3 months, and it was cool. It's just a little different. I wasn't into it as much, but it was a job. Wasn't as good as paying. That was the only thing. You're still traveling and still paying for your own stuff, but you're not making, way as much money. So I did it for a year, and it didn't work out on both ends. I wasn't super happy with it. I think that could have showed in what I was doing. And then, right before it was done, my contract was up for that year because I was on a referee's contract. I guess it's an Italian contract, I guess, It's still one way, basically. It was always their way anyway. No, that's just the way Vince ran his show. That's just what it was. You took it or left it. You knew going in. And then after the year was almost up, and it was a lot of traveling. And then we were also doing 5 days a week because I was doing SmackDown. The referees were going to Raw. Then you go home for a day and a half, and then you're back out again. So it just was to be a referee. I mean, it's different, when you're a professional wrestler and you're out there and you're in the ring doing your career. Then now I'm showing up for work, traveling across the world. If it was local, it'd be nice, go down to the Garden, referee, go down to Nassau Coliseum, referee, go down to County Center, referee.
Yeah.
You're on the road again now after being off of it for, now you're back on the road. As a referee, you're on the road more. Those guys, and I didn't have to do the ring crew, but I would always help if they ever needed it, but they didn't offer me that. And a lot of the guys at the time, did the ring crew and refereed. And I think they still do that. I don't even know. I know Charles is still there, but he's like the leader. He's been there forever.
Yeah, he's been there forever. Yeah.
So I don't really know how they do it, but I guess because I wrestled and stuff, they didn't offer me that part. I just did what I refereed.
Yeah, that's an interesting, because I remember seeing it. What's that?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
No, I remember. I love him so much. I remember seeing you working as a ref. Like somebody said, "Oh, Guido's reffing now," and I was like, "What?" But prior, like you were still doing indie shows, so I'm like, "Well, he's wrestling. Why are they using him as a referee?" So I didn't know the backstory, and that's the only reason.
Yeah, the backstory was I stopped for a year, basically a year. Didn't do any indies because I was never home, so I couldn't do any indies. So I was doing indies up until that offer, and then that offer started the following week. So it wasn't. I talked to my job, and they understood because they knew what I did before anyway. That's how I got in the door with them, and just to keep myself busy during the week instead of out there having fun. So it all worked out.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Chad over here had seen. Did you see it on the Vault this week?
Yeah. No, it was no. I think November, or maybe around the time you were there for the 2300 show.
Yeah. So when we were there, they asked me to tape something for the Vault. They wanted to show the match from Italy, I think, with Hoover.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
It's unbelievable. Now, had you seen it since you wrestled that match?
No, because it was a house show. I've never seen it. I never seen it. I did see what they showed on SmackDown because I won it. I never came back to the United States with it. We went overseas. We went and we did the Italy loop first. So we were on the road for like 2 weeks. We did Italy first in Rome. I beat Juventud on a house show. The following, we were overseas for 2 weeks. We did Italy, Ireland, Finland, whatever we did. We ended up in England somewhere, and I lost it at the following TV to Juventud. What they did was they showed, the house show, clip of the house show, what happened overseas. This never happens on a house show where the belt changes hands.
Right.
But it was a belt anyway.
There you are.
Hey, that's in Italy. That's probably it. That's the night we won. They wanted me to cut a promo.
You look the same, man.
Well, thank you.
It's like that was
I dyed my hair there
yesterday.
too. I dyed my hair there too. So they showed a clip of me winning it, and then the following SmackDown they showed a clip of me losing it. Oh. So I won it in Italy, lost it in England or Ireland, wherever it was, towards the end of the loop. But then I also won. I had it twice actually. I also won in Connecticut. Paul London, wrestling right in Hartford, I think it was. One somewhere over there. Me versus Paul London.
Wow.
Yeah, and that time I had it like, the other one they did it for because it was Italy. First 5 shows were in Italy. It was, it was easy, it's easy, no brainer,
Did they ask you about that match? Or did they tell you?
Drop the belt.
Did they ask you if you wanted that match like to be seen, or did they say we're going to show this match? Tell us about it.
No. Oh, you mean when I went to at the time?
No, with the Vault. No, with the Vault.
Oh, the Vault. Yeah. They told me, they said, can you cut some promos for the Vault? We want to show your match in Rome. I didn't think it was going to come on that quick. It came on fast. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was super fast.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I don't like? I hate watching my matches, especially when it's yourself to begin with, but especially with no announcing and shit. Watching it with no announcing, just the guys doing the moves. It ain't the same, the announcers, believe it, make the match too. They make it more interesting and stuff. Watching it just with because there was no commentary.
I see. It's just quiet.
But what I didn't like about it,
you heard the fans. The fans would go. You could hear the people, but there was nobody commentating over the match.
Right.
But they cut it so you get the pin. And then it jumps right to your speech. Like they don't show you celebrating after you get the pin. They go right from pin, celebrate. But they show the whole match. It's like, we want to see you celebrate.
Well,
with the crowd.
What's funny? There's pictures out there with me in the crowd holding a belt up with
right.
And so they told me to freak out afterwards, be happy, go to the crowd, jump in the crowd. I did all that, and I seen a lot of pictures out there of all that shit. But you're right. When they showed it on there, they just went right to the promo. And then they nixed it right there. But, at least it got out there.
Hey there, it is the Queen of Extreme, Francine from ECW. Do you want to see more of me? Click over here to watch another video. Or click over here to listen to my podcast. And as always, thank you for your support.